kelas Sawant gitu.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar once said, and I quote, "A constitution is not merely a lawyer's document. It is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of the age." Unquote. A very good morning to all present here. On behalf of the Government of Goa and BBM's Govind Ramnath Kari College of Law, Margao, I, Ms. Larisa Gomes, Assistant Professor at this esteemed institution, take great honor in welcoming our distinguished Chief Guest, Honorable Chief Minister, State of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Dr. P. Kandavelu, IAS, Chief Secretary, State of Goa, Shri Sunil Anchpaka, IAS, Secretary, Industries, Sports and Art and Culture, Government of Goa, Shri Sagun Velip, Director, Art and Culture, Government of Goa, Shri Digambar Kamath, Honorable MLA, Margao Constituency, Shri Damodar Shirarkar, Chairperson, Margao Municipal Council, Shri Bhushan K. Savikar, Director, Directorate of Higher Education, Shri Nitin Kunkolikar, President of the Vidya Vikas Mandal and Chairman of Governing Council, our esteemed Principal, Dr. Maria Gorty Simois, honorable guests in the audience, members of the media, my fellow colleagues, and our beloved students. To today's solemn and significant observance of the Samvidhan Hatya Divas, Constitution Murder Day, a symbolic reflection of one of the most critical periods in the democratic history of our nation, the emergency of 1975. Today we come together not just to revisit a moment of constitutional crisis, but to rekindle our commitment to democratic values, constitutional morality, and the rule of law, and to pay tribute to all those who faced and struggled against the gross misuse of power during the period of emergency. We are truly grateful for the vision and leadership of the Directorate of Higher Education, Government of Goa, under whose patronage this event has been organized in collaboration with our esteemed institution. Allow me to briefly introduce BVM's Govind Ramnath Kari College of Law, South Goa's pioneering center of legal education. Established in the year 1979, the institution came into existence at a time when there was a pressing need felt to provide aspiring law students from South Goa an opportunity to pursue legal studies without the burden of traveling far off. Nestled amongst the scenic surroundings of the Vidya Vikas Educational Complex, the campus is thoughtfully designed, equipped with excellent infrastructure, a well-stocked library, robust ICT facilities, sports and recreational spaces, all contributing to a sustainable and vibrant learning environment. The college is proud of its committed and qualified faculty who not only bring academic rigor to the classrooms, but also mentor students through practical experiences like legal aid, internships, and moot court sessions. Over the years, the institution has nurtured several university gold medalists, judicial officers, high-ranking bureaucrats, corporate professionals, and notably the first Goan women judge to be elevated to the Bombay High Court. Recognized as a research center for doctrinal studies in law, the institution is forging ahead through faculty and student exchange programs, both nationally and internationally, and continues its journey towards becoming one of India's premier law colleges. Our institution has recently been awarded the top outstanding law schools of excellence as well as the top law schools in the state of Goa in GHRDC Law School Survey 2025. We have also been awarded the CSR Top Law School Western Region. We at Govind Ramnath Kare College of Law are proud to be a part of this legacy of legal education, democratic awareness, and constitutional literacy. Values that are deeply aligned with the very purpose of today's observance of Samvidhan Hatya Divas. To understand the context of today's observance and to reflect deeply on the ramifications of the 1975 emergency, we begin this morning with a short documentary that takes us through the events, voices, and constitutional implications of that time, a moment that shook the democratic conscience of our country.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning.
सर, ये संविधान हत्या दिवस क्या है?
सर, पर आपने तो कहा था कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन सुप्रीम है, तो उसकी हत्या कौन कर सकता है?
लगता है सर से कोई स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक हो गई है।
मिस्टेक मुझसे नहीं, 1975 में इस देश को चलाने वालों से हुई, जिसकी सोच में डेमोक्रेसी के लिए जरा भी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं थी। बच्चों, भारत को आज विश्व में मदर डेमोक्रेसी कहा जाता है। हजारों वर्षों से हमारी परंपरा लोक शक्ति की तरह है। और अरे हाँ विशाल, अंदर से मेरा लैपटॉप ले गया। तो बच्चों, 1947 में हम आजाद हुए, फिर डॉक्टर भीमराव अम्बेडकर जी ने हमें हमारा संविधान दिया।
पर सर, संविधान की हत्या कैसे हुई?
तुम्हें बहुत जल्दी है, रुको जरा, सब्र करो। लगता है तुम लोगों को अच्छी तरह समझाने के लिए मुझे जरा पीछे जाना पड़ेगा। अरे बड़े बड़े बड़े, अरे ये लोग लैपटॉप क्या? देखो बच्चों, 1971 में प्रधानमंत्री इंदिरा गांधी, उन्होंने चुनाव प्रचार के दरमियान अपने चुनाव क्षेत्र रायबरेली में अपने फायदे के लिए सरकारी मशीनरी का गलत इस्तेमाल किया और वो अदालत में साबित भी हुआ। 12 जून 1975 को इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट ने प्रधानमंत्री इंदिरा गांधी को दोषी करार दिया।
ओह, तो उन्हें सजा मिली क्या?
मिली ना। कोर्ट ने 6 साल के लिए उनके चुनाव लड़ने पर रोक लगा दी।
तो फिर वो पीएम नहीं रही?
अरे श्रीमती गांधी अपनी सत्ता कभी छोड़ना ही नहीं चाहती थी, तो देश भर में उनके खिलाफ आंदोलन उठे और 50 साल पहले ठीक आज ही के दिन यानी 25 जून 1975 को दिल्ली के रामलीला मैदान में भारत रत्न जयप्रकाश नारायण ने एक ऐतिहासिक रैली की, जहां अपने राष्ट्र कवि नामधारी सिंह दिनकर की पंक्तियां खुद पूछी, सिंहासन खाली करो, जनता आती है।
फिर सर?
फिर क्या? जब सत्ता के टॉप पर बैठा हुआ कोई भी अपने आप को सिस्टम से भी ऊपर समझता, संविधान का कभी सम्मान न करता, उसका क्या हो सकता है? उसी दिन इंदिरा गांधी ने अपनी सत्ता बचाने के लिए एक खतरनाक कदम उठाया, जिसने पवित्र संविधान के मूल्यों की हत्या कर दी। संविधान के आर्टिकल 352 का दुरुपयोग करके देश में आपातकाल लगा दिया।
भाइयों और बहनों, राष्ट्रपति जी ने आपातकाल की घोषणा की है।
25 जून 1975 की रात से ही देश में लागू हो गई इमरजेंसी।
इमरजेंसी में क्या हुआ था सर?
देखो बेटा, एक दिन सुबह उठकर ना तुम्हारा मोबाइल चले, ना टीवी चले, ना रेडियो पे न्यूज आए, सोशल मीडिया पे ना कोई पोस्ट डाल सको, तो कोई स्टोरी बना कर रख सको, तो क्या होता?
अरे बाप रे!
हाँ, ऐसा ही हुआ था। उस समय ना इंटरनेट था, ना मोबाइल। रातों रात कई न्यूज़पेपर प्रेस की बिजली काट दी ताकि दूसरे दिन अखबार न चले। अरे कई नेताओं को जेल में डाल दिया ताकि वे लोग इमरजेंसी के खिलाफ आवाज न उठा सके।
36 साल तक का मेरे खिलाफ वारंट था।
What? एक आजाद देश में ऐसा कोई कैसे कर सकता है? This is dictatorship. अगर मैं तब होती तो इस पर ब्लॉग लिखती।
कैसे लिखती तू? तानाशाही ने लोगों के सारे राइट्स का गला घोट दिया था।
गला घोट दिया गया था? ओह सर, अब मैं समझा पोस्टर में हत्या शब्द क्यों लिखा है।
एक बार नहीं, पीएम इंदिरा गांधी ने बार-बार संविधान का मजाक बनाया, बार-बार उसमें बदलाव किए, सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपनी सत्ता बचाने के लिए। प्रेस और मीडिया पर कठोर सेंसरशिप लागू की गई, पुरुषों की जबरन नसबंदी तक। उस दौर में यहाँ तक कि सरकारी अधिकारियों को नसबंदी के टारगेट्स दिए जाते थे, और जो पूरा न कर सके ना, उसको कीमत चुकानी पड़ती थी।
यकीन नहीं होता हमारे देश को इतने बुरे दौर से गुजरना पड़ा। ये तो सच में डार्केस्ट पीरियड था सर।
इतना ही नहीं, इंदिरा गांधी सरकार ने बड़े स्तर पर डिमोलिशन अभियान चलाया। दिल्ली के तुर्पान गेट और कई दूसरे क्षेत्रों में न जाने कितने घर किया, जिससे दंगे बढ़ गए, कई लोगों की जान गई।
सर, आपने भी देखा था क्या ये बुरा समय?
हाँ बेटा, मैंने नहीं, आज के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जैसे हजारों लाखों युवा ने देश भर में आपातकाल का पुरजोर विरोध किया। पहली जनवरी 1977 में जब लोकसभा के चुनाव हुए, तो एज एक्सपेक्टेड जनता ने अपना फैसला सुनाया। इंदिरा गांधी अपने गढ़ रायबरेली से बुरी तरह से हार गई। 21 मार्च 1977 को आपातकाल रद्द हुआ। मोरारजी देसाई प्रधानमंत्री बने। आपातकाल पर जांच बैठी, संविधान के कई सारे बदलाव को अंडू कर दिया।
छी, धिक्कार है सर, हमारे देश में इतना कुछ हुआ और हमें पता तक नहीं है।
इसलिए तो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने 25 जून को संविधान हत्या दिवस के रूप में घोषित किया है। समझे? जो ये तुम्हारी जिम्मेदारी है कि संविधान के वैल्यूज बने रहे। जो एक जिम्मेदार नागरिक होने के नाते हम सबका कर्तव्य बनता है कि संविधान के बताए मार्ग पर हम सब चलें और भारत को विकसित देश बनाए। खूब पढ़ो, खूब आगे बढ़ो।
हमारा संविधान हमारे वर्तमान और हमारे भविष्य का मार्गदर्शक है।
आज देश में संविधान सर्वोपरि है। आज भारत मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी भी है और लार्जेस्ट डेमोक्रेसी भी। जय हिंद।
That indeed was a very informative film. Let us not curse the darkness, but light a lamp to guide our path. As a mark of auspicious beginnings and an invocation of wisdom and enlightenment, I now invite our dignitaries present to kindly proceed for the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. Thank you, esteemed dignitaries. May I now request Shri Bhushan K. Savekar, Director DHE, and Shri Nitin Konkani, President of the Vidya Prakas Mandal, to kindly escort our esteemed dignitaries on the dais. Thank you, dignitaries. It is my absolute privilege to introduce Shri Bhushan K. Savarkar, Director, Directorate of Higher Education, Government of Goa. Sir is an accomplished educationist and administrative leader. With an extensive background in educational administration, he has been instrumental in spearheading progressive reforms in Goa's higher education ecosystem, fostering academic excellence, institutional growth, and student empowerment. To formally commence the event, I now invite Shri Bhushan K. Savarkar to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to you all. Respected Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant. Respected Chief Secretary, Dr. V. Kandavelu, Chairperson of Margao Municipal Council, Sri Damodar Shirodkar, Sri Sunil Anchipaka, Secretary, Government of Goa, our own President of this institution, Principal of this institution, faculties, press people, students, and my friends. Today we are assembled here for inauguration of the year-long commemoration of 50th anniversary of imposition of emergency 50 years back. An occasion not merely to be remembered, but for this occasion is for a deep reflection and renewal of our constitutional values and democratic principles. Today, before we start this function, Honorable Chief Minister has inaugurated the exhibition in form of a van which will go around all over Goa for next few months. Today, 6 mashals or e-torch will be also flagged off from Delhi, and one of these mashal or e-torch is likely to come to Goa in the days to come. Today, when we have this inauguration, we have simultaneously programs at 10 different places in Goa. On this occasion of this inauguration of this year-long commemoration of the 50th anniversary of Samvidhan Hatya Divas, I welcome Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant to this college, GR College, Govind Ramnath Kare College of Law. I also welcome our Chief Secretary Dr. V. Kandavelu, our local MLA of Margao and former Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Sri Digambar Kama, Chairperson of Margao Municipal Council, Sri Damodar Shirodkar, Sunil Anchipaka, Secretary to Government of Goa, which is also Secretary to Industries and Secretary Art and Culture, and all the faculties who are present, the resource persons who will be giving speech today, the principal, ex-principal, and all the students. I welcome you all formally for this function, and I expect that your cooperation and your support will continue for this year-long celebration. Year-long commemoration of this 50th anniversary of imposition of emergency in India. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for calling that warm welcome. We now offer a floral welcome to our distinguished dignitaries as a token of appreciation and reverence. May I now request Dr. Maria Gordy Simois, Principal Vidya Vikas Mandal, Govind Ramnath Kare College of Law, to kindly present a floral bouquet to our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant, marking his gracious presence amongst us today. May I now request Dr. Shruti Nadkarni, HOD and Vice Principal of the institution, to kindly welcome Shri Digambar Kamath, Honorable MLA, Margao constituency, with a floral token of welcome. May I now request Assistant Professor Ms. Ruby Lewis to kindly welcome Dr. V. Kandavelu, IS, Chief Secretary, State of Goa. May I now request Assistant Professor Ms. Sonia Shirurkar to present a floral welcome to Shri Sunil Anchapaka, IS, Secretary, Industries, Sports, Art and Culture, Government of Goa. May I now request Assistant Professor Harshad Bandurkar to kindly present a floral welcome to Shri Bhushan K. Savekar, Director, Directorate of Higher Education. May I now invite Assistant Professor Ashmita Naik to do the honors of welcoming Shri Damodar Shirurkar, Chairperson of Margao Municipal Council, with a floral bouquet. May I now request Assistant Professor Yamini Dalvi to present a floral bouquet to Shri Nitin Kunkalekar, President of the Vidya Vikas Mandal. I now invite Assistant Professor Mr. Sapresh Devadas to present a floral bouquet to Shri Shagun Berep, Director, Art and Culture, Government of Goa. Thank you all. Today we are indeed honored to be joined by Dr. V. Kandavelu, IS, the Chief Secretary to the Government of Goa, a seasoned and highly respected officer of the Indian Administrative Services. Dr. Kandavelu has held key administrative positions in various states and union territories, contributing to public services through visionary governance and policy implementation. His leadership and commitment to constitutional values reflect deeply in his administrative ethos. It is my absolute privilege, sir, to invite you to address this gathering.
Good morning to all of you. It's a great honor to have our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant, for this program. I also extend my greetings to Mr. Digambar Kamath, ex-Chief Minister and MLA of Margao constituency, the Chairman of the Municipal Council, Nitin Kunkalekar, Sunil Anchapaka, Director of Higher Education, and all the other dignitaries who are across the dais. So this is a very important day in the constitutional history of India. So 25th June goes as a Black Letter Day. You all know that from 25th June 1975 to 21st March 1977, the country had undergone a period of scuttling of life and liberty rights during those 21 months. So we all know that this promulgation of emergency does not come all of a sudden from the heaven or like that. It was brought through a legal and constitutional route. So since I am in the campus of a law college, I will restrict myself to the legal and constitutional aspects and leave the political and other aspects to our next speaker, our Chief Minister, and also Mr. Digambar Kamath. The thing is, we all know that the Indian Constitution provides for 3 organs the legislature, judiciary, and the executive. And there is clear separation of powers, and each one is supposed to function within its domain independently. And if one organ tries to encroach on the other, there are checks and balances which are inherently inbuilt in our constitution. And if that particular checks and balances doesn't work, and if these constitutional provisions are misused by the authorities or executives, then the result is before us in the form of an emergency. We all know that Article 352 provides a power to declare emergency in case of threat to the security of India in terms of either war, external aggression, or internal disturbance. This was the original provision, the internal disturbance. So this particular aspect was used by the then government to impose emergency through a very legal and route also. So this internal, at that time I want to set the context, because in the video you would have seen that Mrs. Gandhi's election was set aside by the Allahabad High Court, and it set in motion a lot of legal and other political activities. So I think in the Allahabad High Court, I think both the Rajnarayan who filed the election petition against the election of Madam Gandhi was represented by none other than Shanti Bhushan, who later went on to become the law minister, and in Gandhi's side was represented by Nani Palkiwala, so two noted jurists. So you must have the quality of the debates in the high courts would have been very, very beautiful, and you should go through these judgments also. So once Allahabad High Court passed this order, so the Mrs. Gandhi appealed to the Supreme Court, and the matter came up during a vacation bench before V.R. Krishna, a very noted jurist and one of the wonderful justices of Supreme Court. So he upheld the High Court's order and then gave some temporary relief to the Madam Gandhi, saying to continue as Prime Minister as long as the appeal is decided, but with another restriction saying that she can participate in the parliamentary proceeding, but she cannot vote. So this judgment came on, this order was passed by the Supreme Court on 24th June. So this sent in the immediate reaction from the then executive. So emergency proclamation was made early in the morning. So, and during this time you all know that life and liberties, Article 14, 21 and 25, all the three were suspended. Anyone can be arrested and kept in prison without trial for indefinite period of time, and they cannot be disclosed any reason also why they have been arrested or not. So against these sort of, and all the opposition leaders across the country have been arrested and put in jail. And these leaders approached the various high courts. And here comes the role of the judiciary. The high courts were very courageous, and they upheld that right to life cannot be suspended during an emergency period. The only procedural part can be suspended, but the substantive part could not be. So several high courts ruled in favor of various leaders who are incarcerated in the jail, and this matter went to the Supreme Court in the form of this ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkan Shukla. So since you are the students of law, I request you to refer to these three judgments which are very relevant. One is this Golaknath case, wherein the Supreme Court in a particular thing held that the Constitution cannot be amended to alter the basic features of the Constitution. So the executive got disturbed by this thing, and they passed the 24th constitutional amendment, saying that the Parliament has got all the powers to amend any provision of the Constitution without any restriction. So this set the motion. So this paved the way. So it was this particular amendment helped the latter days to pass whatever acts they wanted or whatever they wanted to amend the Constitution. So the Golaknath case. So before that, after the Golaknath case, I think this one, Keshavananda Bharati was decided in 1973. So that the framework has been laid by the Supreme Court, saying that the Parliament has a limited amending power, and it cannot alter the basic structure of the constitution. For example, India parliamentary form of democracy is a basic structure, republican constitution, etc., etc. So it put limitations. So in that particular case, it was decided by a 13-judge bench, and the majority was 7:6. So it was a very narrow margin. So in order to build up a very committed bureaucracy, committed judiciary, what the then dispensation did was, from the minority judgment side, a judge was there, Justice A, and he was made the Chief Justice. And then he presided over the matter in the ADM Jabalpur case. So this is how they committed they developed a committed judiciary and then tried to build up the other factors for emergency. So when in the ADM Jabalpur case, I will come back to that matter. So when the matter was being heard by the High Court, by the Supreme Court, there were a lot of arguments going on, and I think it was a 5-judge constitution bench. So and at last, all the juries and all the people who are interested in preserving democracy, they were hoping that they would get a very favorable order. But the Supreme Court unfortunately failed this test. So in a 4:1, so they upheld the proclamation of emergency. They also said that during the emergency period, people have the no right to life or liberty. It's a very, very dangerous phenomenon, and this is one of the worst judgment of the Supreme Court. And in the American system, they have a practice of ranking the best judgment and worst judgments. So if you have, in the Indian context, if you have to rank the judgment, so this ADM Jabalpur case will be a very notable one. It is one of the worst judgment, and which has not upheld the constitutional right to life and liberty of the citizens. See, this is because we all know that we are a common law system. We have a common law system, and we go by the judicial precedents set by the earlier benches. When there is already a framework which was available in the Keshavanand Bharati case, and the Supreme Court overlooked it, the 5-judge bench overlooked it and came with a very different interpretation, saying that right to life or liberty is not absolute right, and it is a related freedom or like that. So here, when we talk about democracy in India or anything related to emergency, fight against emergency, we will be failing in our duty if we don't pay tributes to one justice, HR. And so he was on the minority side. He was in the ADM Jabalpur, 4 majority judges, they gave an opinion, they gave a judgment in favor of the government stand, and this lone person gave a dissenting judgment. So he played a very crucial part in upholding democracy in the country. In a judicial system, no, at some point of time, the minority judgment becomes a majority judgment. So it happened. So this particular case came up in ADM Jabalpur 1976. So it took nearly 41 years to overrule this judgment in the Puttaswamy case. It's a right of privacy case. Okay, so in that particular, the original judgment, 4 judges were there. One was A. Andre Beck, then Mr. Bhagwati, and the father of the previous Chief Justice. Yes. So his son was bold enough to overrule this particular, his father's judgment in that case, in that Puttaswamy matter. So what we have to do is we have to be very watchful, and we have to be very watchful, and we have to be very careful in implementing the various provisions of the Constitution. A misinterpretation here and there could lead to drastic consequences like the emergency, and we should also see to that all the 3 organs, and the judiciary played a very critical role at this stage, that things would have been different. So it is the judiciary at that point of time which did not live up to the expectation, and this is one of the black mark on the judiciary, or like that. Whenever this judgment comes, the Supreme Court, the judiciary, it's a sort of embarrassment to the judiciary, we can say. So we have to be very watchful, and whatever rights and liberties which we have got, we should be very careful in preserving that, and we should always abide by the Constitution in the true letter and spirit. While in the ADM Jabalpur case, the judiciary might have ruled based on the letter of the constitution, but it has not acted in the true spirit. So with these few words, I once again thank each and every one of you, and your participation here is a great support for all of us, and we should work together for keeping up the spirit, letter and spirit of the constitution, and also we should not hesitate to stand up when such these things, such sort of scuttlement happens. So I want to end by quoting Mr. L.K. Advani, a famous quote which he referred to the emergency. When he was asked certain question by the press people, no, he just summed up this thing like this. He said, you are asked to win, but you all throw it. So that is the essence, so we should not do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that extremely informative address. I now have the honor of introducing Shri Digambar Kamath, the Honorable Member of the Legislative Assembly from the Margao constituency, a veteran political leader and former Chief Minister of Goa. Shri Digambar Kamath has had a distinguished career spanning decades in public service. Known for his deep connection with the people and unwavering dedication to democratic ideals, he remains one of the most respected voices in Goan politics. Without much ado, I request sir to kindly address the gathering.
लोकशाहीतलो काळो कुट्ट दीस, ब्लॅक डे ऑफ इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी. आज त्या दिसाक 50 वर्सां जाला. And we have gathered here to mark this occasion, the 50th year of India's Black Day in democracy. And we have with us today Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Chief Secretary of the State, Dr. Kandavelu, Secretary Art and Culture, Sri Sunil Anchupaka, Chairperson of Margao Municipal Council, Damodar Shirodkar, Director of Higher Education, Bhushan Savekar, our Chairman of this entire institution, Vidya Vikas Academy, Vidya Vikas College and RG College, RGR College of Law, Sri Nitin Pukalekar, Priti Malya, Principal, Dr. Goretti Sinois, Director of Art and Culture, Sabun Medi, members of the press and friends. I was 21-year-old when emergency was declared. And you may not be aware, the same night there were some arrests in the city of Margao. Mr. Jogrekar, who represented the education system, he was the principal of some school, he was taken into custody. There was one head clerk by name Veer Gaura. He was arrested. There was one advocate Shanbar. He was arrested and put in the jail. So I'm only telling you about people who are arrested in Margao, with whom I had very close contacts. There were lots of arrests in the state of Goa. Those who were doing the works of RSS, who were silent workers of RSS, they were all put behind the jail without knowing why they have been arrested. An entire country, lakhs of people, including all the political leaders, you name the political leader of the opposition, they were all inside the jail. I have read some books written by Atal Bihari Vajpayee when he was arrested and put in the jail. He had written some poems. They took benefit of that jail period and did lots of writing in the jail, wrote lots of poems in the jail. But why this happened? Our constitution, the architect of our constitution is considered as the best constitution across the globe. No other country has such a good constitution. And the architect of this constitution was Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, Baba Saheb Ambedkar. How did he start the constitution? He started, we the people of India. First words of the constitution is, we the people of India. And when emergency was declared, where were the we people of India? Everybody was silent. Judiciary was silent. Press was silent or made to go to silence. For example, the first editorial on Indian Express, I had come out of the college days. I was 21 years old, so I know all these things. I have seen this closely. The Indian Express, the editorial was blank. The first day. They were ready. Their electricity was disconnected. When the newspapers were being printed, there was no digitization that time. There was no digital systems that time. When the papers were being pressed, suddenly, you have seen on the slide, suddenly the power was cut off. So this was the system existed during the emergency, and for whom? Only to protect one person, the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Just to save her, she, in place of obeying the orders of the High Court and giving up the seat and facing by-election, she preferred to imprison lakhs of people in the country and rule as a dictator. Constitution was nowhere. We the people of India were forgotten. And everybody tried to fall in line. In fact, to please her, everybody was trying to see that I am more loyal to you than the Constitution. This was the state of India during those days. And today, her grandson moves with a book of Constitution in villages and says that Constitution is in danger. People should ask him, where was the Constitution in 1975 when emergency was declared and lakhs of people were imprisoned in the country? But I must appreciate the people of India. They may be illiterate, they may be poor, they may belong to the vulnerable society, but they protested against this emergency, and the first opportunity they got in 1977, they showed Indira Gandhi what is India and what we people of India means to the entire country. This was the lesson for everybody across the globe. बाहेर देशातले लोक मोठा तोंडा घालून बळे बोलले या भारतात कशें जालें काय म्हणून अरे काल पर्यंत सगळे जाण जयघोष करताले इंदिरा गांधीचो हे कशें जालें काय म्हणून ते पळोवपाक पडले रशिया जायात अमेरिका जायात तांकां सगळ्यांक दिशिल्लें इंडिया जाली काबार म्हणून इंडियाने लोक बी ना म्हणून हे सगळे तोंडा मोठा घालून पळयत उरले अजून तांकां उत्तर मेळना हे कशें जालें तें 77. This is the power of the people of India, and that is why Dr. Kandavel has told you the legal things. I am not a lawyer, so I am not able to tell you. I learned first year law. I passed first year law and then gave up. So I have some basic knowledge about the law. But he has given you in detail about the judgments and all. Go through those judgments, and then you will realize how the judgments were issued, how the judgments were given, what was the role of judiciary. Because we believe that executive, judiciary and the legislature, these are the three wings of the democracy. And we said that fourth step is press. What was the role of the press during this days? I told you that they were all threatened. Ramnath Goenka, the owner of the Indian Express, who stood like a rock against this emergency, he was jailed ultimately. Notices were sent to demolish his express tower building. Turkaman Gate, which you saw, her son Sanjay Gandhi was implementing the emergency. She declared the emergency, son was implementing the emergency. They destroyed thousands of houses in that Turkaman Gate area. Lakhs of people were forcibly sterilized. And everybody, the so-called intelligent people, everybody was silent. They were scared. But the poor, uneducated people of India, across all the states, they showed that democracy shall live in India and will always live in India, whatever may happen. And that is why we salute the poor and downtrodden people of this country who opposed emergency, and in 1977 showed Mrs. Gandhi her right place. I think all of you who are doing law should really go into this in detail and see that such things do not happen again. Jai Hind, Jai Divas.
Thank you so much, sir. We are indeed privileged to have in our midst Dr. Pramod Sawant, the Honorable Chief Minister of the State of Goa, and our very chief guest for today's observance. A qualified medical practitioner turned statesman, Dr. Sawant has emerged as a dynamic and proactive leader at the helm of Goa's governance. His vision of transparent administration, youth empowerment, and constitutional commitment continues to guide the state through a path of inclusive growth and democratic responsibility. Sir, it is my absolute honor to invite you to address this august gathering. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, students. I will say good morning. संविधान हत्या दिवस ऑब्झर्व करपा खातीर आमी सगळे जाण हांगासर जमल्या. आमच्या मदीं आसात जे आतां ज्यांनी घरा खातीर भाशण केलें. गोंय राज्याचे माजी मुख्यमंत्री आनी मडगांवचे आमदार डॉ. दिगंबर कामत, आमचे CS ज्यांच्यांनी आपल्या तुमच्या भाशेंतल्यान तेंच्यांनी तुमकां संविधान सांगपाचो प्रयत्न केलो, मिस्टर काडावळू, सेक्रेटरी एनजी पप्पा, डायरेक्टर ऑफ हायर एज्युकेशन मिस्टर भूषण सावयकर, त्याच बरोबर तुमचे बाकी प्रिन्सिपल्स, बाकीचे सगळे जाण, आमचो नितीन आनी समोर आशिल्ले म्हजे प्रेस मिडिया आनी म्हज्या मोगाळ भाव आनी भयणांनो. संविधान हत्या दिवस आमी कित्याक ऑब्झर्व करता तशें पळोवतत जाल्यार संविधान हत्या दिवस हेका 50 वर्सां पुराय जाली आनी फाटल्या 50 वर्सां संविधान हत्या कशी जाली, कित्याक जाली आनी ती फुडें केन्नाच जावची न्ही हाज्या खातीर आमी संविधान हत्या दीस ऑब्झर्व करपा खातीर हांगासर आसा. हें कित्याक तर दिगंबर कामत हेंच्यांनी रायटली सांगलें, ज्यांच्यांनी संविधानाची हत्या केली, ज्याच्या फॅमिलीन संविधानाची हत्या केली, तेच आज संविधानाच्या पुस्तकाच्या नावाचेर, ते संविधानाचें पुस्तक न्ही, तर संविधानाचे बूक फक्त बॉल्सान घेवन भोंवता आनी खंय तरी ह्या संविधानाची आतां हत्या जावपाक शकता हें लोकांक दाखयता. हें खरें म्हटल्यार इट इज एन कॉन्ट्रावर्शियल. फाटल्या 50 वर्सां तेंच्यांनी जें केलें तें आतां फक्त लोकांक भासयतात की एक्चुली संविधानाची हत्या आतां जावपाक शकता म्हणून. आय एम नॉट अ लॉ स्टुडंट, आय एम मेडिकल बाय प्रोफेशन. त्या खातीर आतां थोडक्यात एक्झॅक्टली पॉलिटिकली कितें जालें आनी कितें जावपाक जायना ताचेरूच म्हाजें भाश्य करतलो. एक्झॅक्टली संविधान हत्या दिवस म्हणजे कितें जालें तर आमी म्हणटा की फंडामेंटल रायट्स वर सस्पेंडेड. आमचे जे फंडामेंटल रायट्स आसले तेच सस्पेंड जाले सगळे. वेगवेगळे फंडामेंटल रायट्स आसतले, म्हणजे रायट टू स्पीच, रायट टू टॉक, रायट टू रायट, हे सगळे फंडामेंटल रायट्स. म्हाका दिसता तुमी एक्झॅक्टली फिल्म पळयल्या उपरांत तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या लक्षांत आयलें आसतलें की भुरग्यां पर्यंत व्हडा पर्यंत तांच्या खातीर कितें कितें जालें. खरें प्रेस वॉज सेन्सर्ड. आयचे प्रेस तशें पळोवंक वचत जाल्यार चुकून सुद्दां मातशें कितें चुकून सुद्दां म्हणजे वांकडो शब्द वचत जाल्यार दुसरे दीस त्या अग्रलेख बरो बरयता सामको गणगणीत. बरेच जाण अग्रलेख कदाचित वाचयना आसतले, म्हाजेर सुद्दां बरयला तेंच्यानी, हांव कांय म्हणना तांकां आनी म्हणपाचें डॅरिंग बीन केन्ना करिना. बट केन्ना प्रेस सेन्सर्ड म्हणजे कंप्लिटली तेंचे सगळे लायट्स हे ते पूर्ण म्हणजे प्रेसाचेर बंदी हाडली म्हटल्यार जाता. तेन्ना आतांचे प्रेसवाले जर आसले आसले जाल्यार सोडचे नाशिल्ले. तेन्ना तेंच्यांनी प्रयत्न केलो बट इट इज नॉट म्हणजे लोकां पर्यंत ते पावूंक शकले ना. हांव तांचें अभिनंदन करता की तेन्नाय तेंच्यांनी आवाज काडपाचो सोडूंक ना, तेंच्यांनी आवाज काडलो. ऑपोजिशन लिडर्स वेर अरेस्टेड. म्हणजे देशांत जवळपास लाखांनी लिडर्सांक, हांव हजारांनी न्ही, लॅक्स ऑफ द पीपल फ्रॉम जम्मू काश्मीर ते कन्याकुमारी पर्यंत जो उलयतालो ताका अरेस्ट करताले. म्हणजे ब्रश शब्द जरी काडलो, इट इज नॉट म्हणजे 8 दीस आनी 21 दीस न्ही, इट इज 21 मंथ्स. त्या खातीर जेणी कोणी इंदिरा गांधी आनी तिच्या सरकाराचेर उलोवपाचो शुल्लकसो जरी प्रयत्न केलो आसत जाल्यार ते दीस तेन्नाच वांगडाच तो अरेस्ट जातालो. ज्युडिशियल इंडिपेंडन्स वॉज कम, म्हणजे कायदो नांवाचो प्रकारूच नाशिल्लो. खंय कोणाक न्याय मागोवंक वयतले आसत जाल्यार आज आमी पळयता बेश्टो कोणाक जरी पुलीस स्टेशनाचेर व्हरत आनी चुकून अरेस्ट करीत जाल्यार जज ताजेर स्टेट म्हणजे ऑलरेडी ताजेर आपलो स्टेटमेंट पास करता. लोकांक आपलो आवाजूच उलोवंक नाशिल्लो. उलोवपाचें जर सोड म्हणजे लोक भयात जगताले म्हटल्यार जाता. एक्झॅक्टली गोंयांत कितें जाल्लें दिगंबर कामत यांनी तें सांगलेलें की गोंय 1961 लिबरेट जाल्लें. जस्ट म्हणजे गोंय खंय तरी आतांच आमी जाका म्हणटा फुलतालें, खंय तरी डेव्हलपमेंट जाताली, गोंयाक सुद्दां सोडलें ना. आमी म्हणटाले की गोंय नवें राज्य आसा पूण गोंयाक सोडलें काय कितें. तुमचो म्हजो जल्म जावंक नाशिल्लो बऱ्याच जाणांचो, कित्याक आमी बरेच जाण आतां सगळे म्हजे समोर आसा ते ऑलमोस्ट ऑल आर 21 to 24 हाज्या मदीं आसात. त्या खातीर आमचो जल्मय जावंक नाशिल्लो. बाब दिगंबर कामत हेंच्यांनी रायटली सांगलें तेन्नाच्या गोंयांत आशिल्ले RSS लिडर्स, ABVP लिडर्स आनी राष्ट्रवादी लिडर्स, ताका आमी म्हणटा नेशन फर्स्ट ह्या भावनेंतल्यान जें काम करताले अशा सगळ्या लिडर्सांक विशेष करून नाव घेवपाचें जाल्यार जाल्यार दादा आर्लेकर आसतले. ॲट प्रेझेंट गव्हर्नर राजेंद्र आर्लेकर आसा. तांच्या सहीत तांचे वडील हे जवळपास 21 म्हयन्या खातीर अरेस्ट आशिल्ले. दत्ता भिकाजी नाईक फाटल्या दिसांनी एबीवीचे स्ट्रॉंग लिडर्स तांकां अरेस्ट केले गेले. प्रभाकर सिनारी हांकां अरेस्ट केले गेले. गोंयचे फ्रिडम फायटर्स जे तेन्ना तेंच्यांनी आवाज उठयलो तांकां सुद्दां सोडूंक ना. तेय सगळे जाणां ह्या हेच्या अंतर्गत म्हणजे एक्टाच्या अंतर्गत तांकां टार्गेट केले गेले. इट इज एन मिसा एक्ट म्हणजे मेंटेनन्स ऑफ द इंटरनल सेक्युरिटी एक्ट हाजें इम्प्लिमेंटेशन जालें आनी ह्या मिसाच्या अंतर्गत बऱ्याच जाणांक सगळ्यांक अरेस्ट केले गेले. अटॅक ऑन द प्रेस इन गोवा गोंयच्या प्रेसाकूय सोडूंक ना. म्हणजे तेन्ना कशें पळोवंक वचत जाल्यार मडगांव एक केंद्रस्थानी आशिल्लें. आयचो कार्यक्रम सुद्दां आमी 10 कॉलेजींनी लायव्ह करता बट स्टेटीचो कार्यक्रम आमी मडगांवान मुद्दामून दवरलो कारण मडगांव हें तेन्ना केंद्र आशिल्लें RSS आनी तेज्या बाकीच्या सगळ्या एक्टिविटीचे. हांगासल्यान खूब मोठ्या प्रमाणात एक्टिविटी जाताल्यो. राष्ट्रमत नांवाचो तेन्ना पेपर आशिल्लो जो खुद्द मडगांवांत आशिल्लो. इवन जो ताजेरूय बॅन जो आशिल्लो तो तेन्नाय बॅन हांगा मडगांवांतल्यान घातलो. कारण मडगांव हें तशें म्हणजे पणजे ह्या एक्टिविटीच्या बाबतींत केंद्रस्थानी आशिल्लें मडगांवांतल्यान खूब मोठ्या प्रमाणात तेन्नाचे ABVP आनी RSS हे तेंच्यांनी खूब मोठो आवाज गोंयांत सगळ्यांत व्हडलें आंदोलन जर हेच्या वेळेस जाल्लें आसत एमर्जन्सीच्या विरोधात जाल्यार तें मडगांवांत जाल्लें. आमी पळयता की स्टुडंट्स आनी वर्कर्स वॉच स्टुडंट फक्त खंयसर आवाज करता काय म्हणून पळयताले. स्टुडंट्सां सयत तांकां भितर उडयल्ले. वर्कर युनियन्स खंयसर आवाज काडटा काय म्हणून पळयताले तांकांय व्हरून भितर उडयल्ले. स्टुडंट सुद्दां सुटूंक नाशिल्ले. तुमी अशें समजच्यात की स्टुडंट्स एखादें पत्रक काडून जर एमर्जन्सीचेर उलयतले तांकां तें इंडिपेंडन्स नाशिल्लें उलोवपा खातीर. म्हणजे एमर्जन्सी इतली कडक आशिल्ली की बऱ्याच जाणांक म्हणचें पडलें की ब्रिटीश बरें आशिल्लें पण न्ही एमर्जन्सी. कित्याक तर आमी पळयता इट इज फोर्स स्टरलायझेशन ड्रायव्ह. ब्रिटिशांनी सुद्दां केन्ना स्टरलायझेशन ती नसबंदी जी आतां म्हटली ती ब्रिटिशांनी सुद्दां केन्ना केली ना. बट लोकांचेर अशा पद्दतीचेर स्टरलायझेशन ड्रायव्ह फाटल्या 50 वर्सां लोकांनी भोगले. स्टरलायझेशन तेन्ना केलें म्हणजे फुडली फॅमिलीच जावपाक शकली ना. म्हणजे पॉप्युलेशन कंट्रोलच्या नांवाच्या सकयल स्टरलायझेशन इतक्या मोठ्या प्रमाणात करप हाच्या पयलीं केन्ना देशांत जावं नाशिल्लें आनी फुडेंय केन्ना अशा पद्दतीचो प्रकार जावं नाशिल्लो. दॅट इज लीड बाय म्हणजे इंदिरा गांधी सन इज संजय गांधी ते. म्हणजे पूर्णपणे देशात पॉप्युलेशन कंट्रोल करा त्याच्या सकयल स्टरलायझेशन विचार करा तेन्नाची लोकांची मानसीक स्थिती कितें जाता आसतली. म्हणजे बाकीचे तर सोडून दियात पॉप्युलेशन कंट्रोलाचेर कंट्रोल करपा जाय पूण स्टरलायझेशन लोकांक हाडप टार्गेट दिवप वॉट इज दीस. हेजे इफेक्ट इट इज नॉट ओन्ली फॉर दॅट 10 years 20 years लोकांचे एक जनरेशन पिड्ड्यार जाल्लें आसा. कंटिन्युअसली म्हणजे एक जनरेशनाचेर फरक पडिल्लो आसा. आमी पळयता की तेन्नाचे पॉलिटिकल लिडर देशभरांतले LK आडवाणी आसतले अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी आसतले जयप्रकाश नारायण आसतले माधव बीर आसतले अशे सगळे लिडर्स हे तेन्ना पुराय देशांत तांकां अरेस्ट केल्ले गेल्ले. पण एक गजाल सत्य आसा की खंय तरी 21 म्हयन्याच्या उपरांत हांव तितून वचना की जयप्रकाश नारायणांनी हे कोर्टात गेले आनी परत एकदां इलेक्शन्स लागले गेले आनी सदोदीत म्हणजे नो वन इज अबाउट द कॉन्स्टिट्युशन्स. आमकां सगळ्या जाणांक खबर आसा लोकांनी तेन्नाच्या सरकाराच्या विरोधात जनता पार्टी हे सरकार निवडून दिले आणि जनता पार्टीच्या सरकाराच्या सकयल पुराय ह्या देशात हे सरकार आयले. हांव मुद्दामूच सांगता आय एम द सेकंड जनरेशन ऑफ द जनता पार्टी. गोंयांत जनता पार्टीच्या हेजेर 1978च्या इलेक्शनाक 4 सीट लढिल्ले. एक मडगांव पणजे वास्को एंड पाळये सीट इज कॉन्टेस्टेड बाय माय फादर. म्हज्या पप्पान कॉन्टेस्ट केल्लो आनी इतकेंच न्ही ताका मतां पडिल्ली 400. बट ते सांगता तुमकां फाटलीं 40 वर्सां तांकां हिणयताले हो जनता पार्टी. तांणी भोगलां कित्याक ही वॉज इन द फक्त अरेस्ट जावंक ना बट ही हॅज फॉट फॉर द एमर्जन्सी फॉट केल्या उपरांत ताका सांगलें की इलेक्शन तूं कॉन्टेस्ट करपाक जाय. ही कॉन्टेस्टेड इलेक्शन बट लोकांनी हिणयलो 40 वर्सां हिणयलो हो जनता पार्टी. हांव आमदार जाल्या उपरांत बंद जालें हिणोवपाचें. इतकें सोंसलां दॅट फॅमिलीज आमी लक्षांत घेवपाक जाय. इट इज नॉट दॅट जस्ट म्हणजे फक्त अरेस्ट केलें हें केलें जालें न्ही. इट इज फॅमिली हॅव सफर्ड सो मेनी. भितर आशिल्ले सफर्ड जाले भायर आशिल्ले सफर्ड जाले. आमी आज म्हणना की आतां आमी एमर्जन्सी डे ऑब्जर्व करता जर आसत हे एमर्जन्सी डेच्या निमित्तान म्हणजे हांव सांगता आसतना आय एम द सेकंड जनरेशन ऑफ दीस पार्टी. आनी सेकंड जनरेशन सांगता आसतना म्हाका गर्व आसा म्हाका अभिमान आसा. नेशन फर्स्ट सेकंड पार्टी एंड थर्ड मी. आम्ही सदांच सांगता आसतना ह्या राजकारणात जर आसत तर आम्ही स्वता खातीर ना, या देशा खातीर आसा, आम्ही आमच्या पार्टी खातीर आसा, ताज्या उपरांत आम्ही आसा, हे सातत्यात आम्ही करीत आशिल्ले आसा. म्हणून तर म्हणजे वेगवेगळे प्रचारक आसतले, संघाचे वेगवेगळे ABP लिडर्स आसतले आणि वेगवेगळे फ्रीडम फायटर्स आसतले, ज्यांच्यांनी देशा खातीर आणि त्या राज्या खातीर लिबरेट करपा खातीर ज्यांच्यांनी झगडले ब्रिटिशां वांगडा, तांकां भितर वचपाची पाळी जर आसत जाल्यार ती पयले फावटी आयली. आम्ही बरेचशे म्हणटा आता की माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदीजी आयल्या उपरांत या संविधाना खातीर कितें केलें. तुम्ही जर पळयशे आसत जाल्यार डीप रिस्पेक्ट टू द डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर हांचे व्हिजन जर तुम्ही पळयशे आसत तर तांच्यांनी हे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हे सर्वोपरी आसा, हे संविधान हे सर्वोपरी आसा हे सांगता आसतना त्यांचे हे संविधान जे आसा, आमी जशें म्हणटा की गीता, बायबल आनी कुराण हे धर्माचें जितकें म्हत्व आसा तितक्याच कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनाक म्हत्व प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदीजी यांच्यानी दिल्लें आसा. आणि हे सगळें सांगता आसतना ह्या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनान दिल्लें कोऑपरेटिव्ह फेडरलिझम हो देश नॉट म्हणजे इट इज नॉट ओन्ली द कंट्री, ह्या सगळ्या स्टेटीक मेळोन हो देश जाल्लो आसा आणि त्या खातीर प्रत्येक पॉलिसी, प्रत्येक डिसिजन हे प्रत्येक जणांचेर अवलंबून आसा. म्हणून हे कोऑपरेटिव्ह फेडरलिझम व्यवस्थीत रित्या जाल्लें आसा. आणि हे सगळें सांगता आसतना वी प्रमोट सिटीजन फ्रेंडली गव्हर्नन्स. लोकांच्या मदीं कशें वयचें ह्या फाटल्या 10 वर्सांच्या कार्यकाळात तुम्ही सिटीजन फ्रेंडली गव्हर्नन्स पळयलां आसतलें. एम्पावरिंग द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडीज तुम्ही फाटल्या 10 वर्सांच्या कार्यकाळात पळयात. इलेक्शन कमिशन एम्पावर केला, CAG एम्पावर केला, लोकपाल एम्पावर केला. फाटल्या 60 वर्सांच्या कार्यकाळात तुमकां CAG, लोकपाल, इलेक्शन कमिशन हेका इतक्या मोठ्या प्रमाणात एम्पावर केल्लें केन्ना दिसूंक नाशिल्लें. ते फर्स्ट टायम म्हणजे लोकायुक्त आसतले किंवा लोकपाल आसतले वेगवेगळ्या स्टेटींनी सुद्दां म्हणजे गव्हर्नमेंटाच्या विरोधात सुद्दां जर एखाद्या केस दिवची पडली तरी ते लोकायुक्त. आतांय बी म्हणटा आमी इन्फॉर्मेशन RTI एक्ट हे वेगवेगळे एक्ट जर तांकां एम्पावर करपाचें काम जर केन्ना जालें आसत जाल्यार तें आतां जालें. आनी इतकेंच न्ही, तातूंत फुडें वयता आसतना इट इज एन फ्रीडम टू द डेव्हलपमेंट. Honorable PM Narendra Modi's vision is a clean India to fit India. Clean India, digital India, make in India, fit India. वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीच्यो संकल्पना अप टू द आमचें तत्व सरकार करता आसतना आसा which is an अंत्योदय. लास्ट पर्सन इन द कम्युनिटी हाज्या पर्यंत गव्हर्नन्स पावचें, लास्ट पर्सन इन द कम्युनिटी हाज्या पर्यंत पॉलिसीज पावच्यो, स्किम्स पावच्यो, हाज्या खातीर आमचें सरकार सातत्यान काम करता. आणि म्हणून तर आमचें सरकार हे सगळ्या लोकां पर्यंत जन आंदोलन रित्या जनभागीदारीतल्यान काम करता आसतना तुमकां दिसता. तुमी म्हणटाले की ह्या सरकारान सगळ्यात मोठें काम कितें केलां. हय, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन तशें पळोवंक वचत जाल्यार 370वे कलम रद्द करपाचें काम म्हज्या सरकारान केलां, मोठ्या अभिमानान सांगता. ह्या देशात जेन्ना स्वातंत्र्य जालें आणि जम्मू काश्मीर ह्या देशाचो वेगळें दवरलें आणि जम्मू काश्मीर वेगळें दवरता आसतना सांगलें की हय त्या जम्मू काश्मीरात वेगळें संविधान आसतलें, वेगळो थंयचो मुख्यमंत्र्याक प्रधानमंत्री म्हणटले आणि थंयसरले आशिल्ल्या त्यांचो तिरंग्याच्या बरोबर त्यांचो वेगळो फ्लॅग लायतालो आफ्टर द इंडियन. आणि त्याच दिसा 1952 जेन्ना त्यांनी आपलें रेजिग्नेशन दिलें फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्रीचें आणि जम्मू काश्मीरात विदाउट पासपोर्ट त्यांच्यानी बाय ट्रेनीन थंयसर प्रवेश केलो. एक दीस तांकां त्याच दिसा तांकां अरेस्ट केलें आणि दुसऱ्या रित्या गूढ रित्या जम्मू काश्मीरात मृत्यू जालो. केन्ना तेची इन्क्वायरी जाली ना. भारतीय जनता पार्टी आणि जनसंघ तेन्नाच्या तेन्ना ठरयलें की इस देश में एक विधान, एक प्रधान, एक निशान चलेगा. इस देश में 2 विधान, 2 प्रधान, 2 निशान नहीं चलेगा, नहीं चलेगा. या तत्वाचेर भारतीय जनता पार्टीचें राजकारण आशिल्लें. आमच्या खातीर आमी देश सर्वोपरी तो इतक्या खातीर म्हणटा की ह्या देशात 2 संविधानां चलचीं ना, ह्या देशात 2 फ्लॅग चलचे आणि ह्या देशात 2 प्रधानमंत्री आसचे ना. आणि हालीं आमी पळयता की 5 जून 2019 पर्यंत ह्या देशात 2 संविधानां चलतालीं, 2 प्रधानमंत्री आशिल्ले आणि 2 तिरंगे लागताले. अरे भारत लिबरेट जाल्या उपरांत सुद्धा ही स्थिती ह्या देशाची. 70 वर्सां जाल्या उपरांत सुद्धा ह्या देशात 2 संविधानां चलता. जम्मू काश्मीरात वयता जाल्यार आमकां परमिशन घेवचें पडटा. जम्मू काश्मीर आय एम द विटनेस 2013 हांव स्वता जम्मू काश्मीरात गेला. तिरंगा लहराव, लाल चौक, भारतीय जनता पार्टी जनसंघाचे लिडर प्रत्येक फावटी त्या जम्मू काश्मीरात त्या लाल चौकात तिरंगा लावपा खातीर गेल्या. आय विटनेस 2013 हांव गेला. 2013 म्हणजे तुम्ही विचार करात जेव्हा आमदार जाल्या उपरांत तेन्ना पयली फावटी भारतीय जनता पार्टी ठरयलें हय तिरंगा लहराव, लाल चौक जम्मू काश्मीर म्हणजे जवळपास जम्मू काश्मीरच्यान आपले कन्याकुमारी पासून पुराय भारत देशातले सगळे तमाम युवक जम्मू काश्मीरात एंटर जाले. जम्मू काश्मीरात एंटर जाल्या उपरांत ज्याच्या बॅगात तिरंगा दिसा तेका अरेस्ट करप हांवें पळयलां. ज्याच्या बॅगात तिरंगा दिसलो लाखांनी युवक हे जम्मू काश्मीरात अरेस्ट जाले 2013. एक असतो हे कसले स्वातंत्र्य माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी हांच्या एका 5 जून 2019 370वें कलम रद्द केले आणि परत एकदा दाखवून दिले इस देश में दो विधान दो प्रधान दो निशान नहीं चलेगा याच तत्वाचेर भारतीय जनता पार्टीचे आम्ही विसरूंक ना भारतीय जनता पार्टीचं राजकारण केला असत गरज आम्ही विसरूंक ना श्यामाप्रसाद मुखर्जी हांचे बलिदान आम्ही केन्नाच विसरूंक ना श्यामाप्रसाद मुखर्जी हांच्यानी बलिदान तरी जम्मू कश्मीरात वो कश्मीर हमारा है जहाँ बलिदान मुखर्जी हुए वो कश्मीर हमारा है या तत्वाचेर भारतीय जनता पार्टीत राजकारण केलं आणि म्हणून आज आम्ही मोठ्या अभिमानान सांगता 370वें कलम संविधानाचे रद्द जर केले असत या देशाची अखंडता दवरपा खातीर केले या देशाक एक संघ दवरपा खातीर केले या देशाची अखंडता दवरप हेच आमचे परम कर्तव्य आशिल्ले म्हणून आयच्या ह्या संविधान हत्या दिवस ऑब्जर्व करता असताना तांची संविधानाची हत्या कशी पद्दतीन केली हे भुरग्यांक कळपाची गरज आसा आम्ही स्वताच म्हणटा की आयचो तरणाटो हो विकसीत भारत 2047 हो ह्या देशाचो हो विकास घडोवपी आसा आणि व्हिजन जर कोण पळयता आसत या देशाचो तरणाटो पळयता आणि म्हणून तर आमी हे ट्रूथ हे केन्ना सप्रेस जावपाक दिवचे ना सातत्यात आमकां हो दीस याद दवरपाक जाय हाज्या फुडें अशा पद्दतीन हे केन्ना संविधानाची हत्या आमी जावपाक दिवचे ना ही शपथ आमी घेवपाची गरज आसा आणि म्हणून तर आयचो दीस मनयता आसतना आयचो दीस ऑब्जर्व करता आसतना पुराय भारतभर या संविधानाच्या खातीर आमी सातत्यात या देशातले तरणाटे हे लढटले हे म्हाका सांगपाक दिसता कोण तरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हातात घेवन भोवलो म्हणून या संविधानाक सांगूंक शकना या देशाचे विजन ऑनरेबल प्रायम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदीजी विकसीत भारत 2047 हे आमच्या मुखार दवरला फुडल्या 25 वर्सांचे विजन जेन्ना दवरता आसत तेन्ना विकसीत भारत विकसीत गोवा हे स्वप्न साकार करपा खातीर आमी सातत्यात सगळे मिळून काम करता म्हाका खात्री आसा म्हाका विश्वास आसा या देशातले तरणाटे आणि विशेष करून लॉ ग्रॅज्युएट स्टुडंट्स जेका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कळटा जेका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन समजता जेका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनाचो अभ्यास करता ह्या देशातल्या तरणाट्यांक हांच्यानी तरी लोकां पर्यंत आयचो दीस म्हणजे कितें हे पावोवपाची गरज आसा 1975 परत रिपीट जावूंक दिवचें ना हाज्या खातीर शपथबद्ध जावपाची गरज आसा म्हाका खात्री आसा म्हणून मुद्दामून आमी लॉ कॉलेजीत हो कार्यक्रम आयोजन करता आसतना म्हाका गर्व जाता की ह्या संविधानाचे खरे जर राखणदार जर कोण आसत जाल्यार ते तुमी आसा तुमकां कॉंग्रॅच्युलेट करता आनी म्हाजे 2 उतरां सोंपयता जय हिंद जय भारत
Thank you so much, sir. I now take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, for his generous contribution of 3 insightful books to our institution, Swampun Goa, Wild Goa, and Temples of Goa. This thoughtful gesture